Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to see how we can remove elements from a list in Python. So here we are going to see these four methods that are present on your screen, that is remove, pop, delete and clear. Let us watch them one by one. Starting with the first method, which is the remove method. You can clearly see that here I have taken a list and I have called remove method on element number 3. So let us see what remove actually does. Remove actually deletes the first occurrence of any element from the list. So actually what it does, it will be removing the first occurrence of your element, right? And one more thing that I would be liking you to do is try to remove an element which is not present in the list. Let us go back to our Python screen and see that how remove works. Let us take a list name L having element 1, 2, 3 is repeated 2 times and 4, right? Call remove on L and pass element as 3. And after that, print the list. Run the code and you will observe that the first occurrence of 3 is now been removed. Remember that remove function does not return anything. You can check it by actually passing it to a variable, let's say s, and print s over here. And when you run it, you will find that the value returned by remove function is none. Right? So remove function is used to remove the first occurrence of any element in your list by passing that element as an argument to the remove function. Now let us try to remove a number which is not present in the list. That is number 10. Clearly 10 is not present in my list. If I run it, you can see that the Python gives you an error and say it's a value error. You are trying to remove an element x and x is not in the list. So remove function will remove only those elements that are present in the list. The next function is pop function. It is similar to the pop operation that we perform on the data structure called stack, right? So here, as the definition of pop says, it will be removing and returning the last element from the list. Now that is where the difference between remove method and pop method arises. Remove returns none, but pop returns the last element after deleting it from the list. So here we have taken a list of 5 elements in which clearly the last element is 5. And if I print L.pop, then it should print 5 on the screen. And after printing L, I will be having only 4 elements from 1 to 4. Now let us coming back to our Python screen. So it has clearly been seen that the pop operation is nothing but an operation which is similar to the pop operation of your stacks. So if I call pop operation or pop method on my list and do not give any argument and pass it into the print function, right? And here, after calling pop on L, it is clearly evident that it should remove the last element of my list. And after printing L, I should get only 4 elements. So let us run and see. Yes, you can see that the pop operation have returned the value as 5 and now my list contains only 4 elements. Otherwise, it was a list of 5 elements, right? So that is the difference between remove function and pop function. Remove returns none, whereas pop function returns the element that it deletes from the list, and it deletes always every single time the last element. So even if I call this function twice, right? So if I call this function twice, the list will be having only 3 elements now. So 5 and 4 must be removed from this from the list. So here you can see after running, the output is 5, 4, and we have left with only 3 elements. So that was all about the pop operation. The next function, which also removes an element from a list, is del function. It is the short form of delete. What it does, It deletes the element which is mentioned in it with the help of indexing. So on your screen you can see I have a list of 5 elements, and in the second line I have written del as a keyword over here, and here I have deleted the first element of my list using the indexing method of representation. So I have taken L as the name of my list, and I have here mentioned the index number 0, which is clearly representing that I want to delete whichever element is present on the index 0 in my list. Till now we have seen two operations, that is the remove and pop. Remove takes the actual element as an argument and removes only the first occurrence of that. Pop does not take any argument and just removes the last element. But here we have to pass the list name as well as the index of the element that I want to remove, and also try to remove an element which is not present in the list. So now coming back to our Python screen, and let us see how this del function works. So here on my screen I have a list of 5 elements, and let me now just delete the first index of my list, right? Let us run and see what. The list is now been printed by removing the first element, which was 1, right? Even if I pass the index as, let's say, 4, that should delete the last element, right? And let us see. Yes, the last element has now been removed. So del is, you can see that the color of del is also been changed. So it is working as a keyword, and here we have to pass the name of my list as well as the index on which the element I have to be I want to delete actually, right? So that was all with del function. One more thing which we can actually visualize, if we want to remove an index which is not present in my list, then what del does, it gives us an index error, and it says that the list assignment index is out of range. What if I take negative values of index over here? Let me take -1, that should also represent the element number 5. So what it does, it takes the negative indexing. Yes, it works with negative indexing as well, and you can see that 5 has been now removed from my list. So that was all with the del function. Let us come back to our slides and see which else function we can use for removing elements from our list. The next function is clear function. What it does, it removes all the elements from the list and returns an empty list as the output. So with the clear function, we do not specify any argument, but what it does, it removes each and every element that is present in your list. Let us see how this works. So here what we are going to do, we are going to call clear function on our screen like this, right? So we have actually called clear function on my list, and it should clearly remove each and every element that is present in my list and should return an empty list. So let us see. On running the particular output, we will be seeing an empty list on our screen. So here we have seen 4 functions. The first was remove, that removes the first occurrence of the element that we pass into it as an argument. Then we have taken up pop function, which works as the pop operation of a stack, and that removes the last element of our list. Then we have seen the del function, which works as a keyword, and that takes the name of the list along with the index of the element that we want to remove. And last, we have seen the clear function, which actually removes all the elements that are present in my list. So that was all with the removal functions actually. I hope you liked the video, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned to my channel.